cabin.
Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Thursday morning and we're just out here doing a little content for all y'all. So, not much is going on. We're just burning some fun stuff. We're burning, I thought, I haven't burned the old Rayo 17, our channel's mascot there, our namesake. Yeah. So I thought I'd get that going and enjoy it a little bit out here. And then we also have this stranger to the bench, which, well, it's not too much of a stranger. I just haven't burned it in quite some time. And that is the Dietz regular. Yeah, check that out. Isn't that cool? Yeah, see? No lift mechanism or anything. No, but you have this little tab here, and it slides. You slide that open, and you have access to insert a match. Pretty cool. So the Dietz regular, interesting little history. I'll touch upon it just briefly. Don't want to get too involved because I have many things. Well, I have something else to share. But anyways, this thing really does burn quite nice. This example, circa 1897, 98, somewhere right around there. I have a Dietz 98 globe in there that I got from the Antique Lantern. Shout out to Joe Bogo there. And he gave me a sweet deal on it. It's not too strong of a cast, but it's a good cast. It's strong enough to really see, because sometimes they're pretty weak. But anyways, this lantern was their economy model in the 1890s. And it goes back a little further, on the brink of 1890 maybe, or just maybe stretching a little bit earlier into the late 80s. But the regular was a little different then. It didn't have a fuel cap, and it had the two-piece soldered fountain where the skirt and the bottom plate were soldered to the actual side, the walls of the fountain. Just like a square lift, but without the top, lift tab. And this thing never had a lift mechanism. It was always just a stationary plate that you would insert a match into a little hole, or later they came out with the sliding little trapdoor there. But it's a cool piece. The earlier ones didn't have this retaining clip that I've seen. So it has this little loop, this little wire loop, and it goes right to the globe plate. You can see it right there. Yeah. So it keeps it stationary from spinning, keeps it in place. Yeah. And it's funny because, well, what it is designed for is, you see this bend in the wire guards. See how it bends? Well, that's just to hold the globe in place. That's just to hold the globe in place. Always something happening. Anyways. Now, Monrovia really is a quiet town. It really is, for the most part, until I start making a video. I don't know if everything's okay. I don't like seeing that. It's never a good thing. But anyways, good guys. Our Monrovia PD and fire department, they're great guys. But anyways, the old regular. Eventually, about 1902 or so, 1903, it became the Crown. Why did they change it from regular to the Crown? Well, Crown sounds a little more appealing than the regular. Oh, it's just the regular. I'll have the regular. But yeah, Dietz kind of started experimenting or venturing into naming their lanterns as certain things to be a little more fun, a little more interesting. But before then, it was just, regular, side lift, square lift, okay, whatever. It was very basic. Okay, it was, they had one that was really fancy in their opinion, had a little more extra details, and it was called the Best. I don't have a Best. No, not yet. Don't think I will, because one came up, and the guy was willing to sell it. It was a square tube example. Had the circle cross bottom logo on it. Really cool, but it had a dented air tube, and it was not in the ideal condition that I wanted it. I mean, had nice patina and everything, but I don't know. Dented air, I don't mind dents in the founts or whatever, but a dented air tube is kind of a turnoff for me. I know. I'm like, really, Rob? Really? No. But hey, a friend of mine, I turned him onto it, and he bought it for I think it was a fair price. It was more than I wanted to pay, but he paid it, and he's going to pick it up this week. So that's pretty cool. Or next week, actually. So I had a chance, but I passed on it. But it's okay. The Dietz okay. Well, the Dietz best is more or less a. Is it a number 2 or a number 1? I'm drawing a blank. I don't think it's a number 2. I think it's a number 1 burner. But anyways, it's fancier. It has. Okay, imagine a mill lantern with the little struts going from here to the fount, like a mill lantern, but without the cage. Okay, and it had. I think it had a wire guard, but I'm not sure if it did. But it has a lift tab. It's just a little fancier. They had so many models of lanterns in the 90s. It's ridiculous. It's really crazy how many examples or lanterns you could choose from Dietz between 1890 and 1900. It's crazy. But anyways, where was I going with this? Holy cow. But the regular eventually became the Crown. Now, by 1900, well, the earliest named lantern really was the Victor, to my knowledge. And that came out in 92, 93. The Victor started showing up in the Dietz catalogs, to my understanding. And we all know what it looks like. But before the Victor was the side lift. I got one right here. You've all seen it before. This one has a last patent of 1891. It has, of course, the bottom stamp on the fount there, which we all like. Essentially, it is a Victor, but it says side lift. Okay. Side lift. But it's the same lantern. In all intents and purposes, same lantern. But this is one thing that they left off. See how it has no locking loop or bend in the globe, globe guard? Then the orbital globe guard, there's no bend to keep this from flopping around. So that was one design thing about the side lift tubular, is that there was no way to lock your lift lever. Okay, set that there. And the Victor, here's the Victor, 1895, 6, right around there. So these Victor, but it has that little bend in the globe guard there, so you can keep your lift lever from flopping around. Pretty cool little design. Very minor detail. Excuse me. Had a little moment there. But anyways, it's a great lantern. I love the Victor. This is definitely, we all know, I've talked about this. Easily one of my top favorite lanterns. It really is. Perfect. But anyways, so you had a lot of variety in the 90s, but the Victor was the first lantern that they really technically named. But by the late part of the decade, Dietz renamed the square lift the Star. You had the Victor, okay? And then you had the Royal. The Royal came out, I think it was right around 1890, 91. But it was known as the B or the 1B. I think it was the 1B. And then it became the Royal mid-decades, give or take. I don't have any notes in front of me, so I can't be specific or accurate, but it was right around there. But the Royal continued up until the 1920s, and then they discontinued it. They stopped making a number 2 size hot blast because, well, people were buying all their number 2 size cold blasts, and they were brighter, so they like, well, why do we need to keep this thing around? So they streamlined their production, which was smart. That's how they survived for that long, because they just trimmed the fat. They stopped making duplicate models that only had minor little changes or differences. Like the regular, it was, became the Crown, and they dropped the regular and it just renamed it the Crown. And then for maybe only a couple more years, then they stopped making the Crown altogether because they had the high-low. They had some basic lanterns that were a little easier to operate and just as cheap to make. The evolution is really interesting to see, you know what I mean? But anyways, this is a really special little piece. I like this one. And I don't burn it nearly enough, but maybe that's okay. Maybe it's okay that I don't, because, it's miles. It's miles. It's 25 years old, give or take. So, what else is going on besides just yammering on about stuff I already had? Well, shout out to Bob and Amber out in Orange County. Now, I was down visiting them on Sunday afternoon, And well, Ashley was going to go with me, and we were going to hang out all together. But she woke up with a very strong migraine headache, so she decided to lay low, and I went down there and paid them a visit because they're going to be out of town the next, well, leaving this weekend. They'll be out of town, but I had something she wanted to purchase off me, and I know that when I say this, people will be like, "What? Are you crazy? Why did you do that?" But that very nice, clean, restored City of Los Angeles high-low that I have, that if you go back to some of my very earliest videos from like 2019, give or take, you'll see it. I restored it, cleaned it, very nice, used Evaporust. The thing came out beautiful. It's a beautiful lantern. I liked it a lot, and I've used it, but since 2020, and I bought the other City of Los Angeles high-low when I stripped it, and I saw this beautiful brown patina underneath the black paint. I fell in love with that one. Even if it has a dent, it's not perfect. I love the way that looks. There's just something you can't duplicate about the honesty of that lantern. It just really looks like it was used, like it really served. It's, it tells its history. The other one was in perfect shape. It had, obviously it was used at some point, but not very much. It had numbers painted on it, like a number 5 on the front of the fountain and underneath the fountain and on the opposite side of the fountain. But anyways, it was a beautiful lantern, still is. But I'm like, you know what? I don't need 2 City of LA high-lows. Some might disagree. Some's like, well, are you kidding? You need more. No, I'm trying to just have a really good example or a favorite example of each one. So I have the City of LA. I have the LA County. I have a City of Pasadena. I have a Water Department of Pasadena. And I have a DW&P. And then also I have a WPA, but that's not a high-low, that's a Embry 210. But, I'd like to have only so many barricade lanterns, that are marked for utility. So trying to just keep the best or my favorite things, just trying to narrow things down a little bit. But anyway, she bought it for a good price. I think I gave her a good deal on it for what it is and how nice and clean it was. And so she was really happy about it. And so now it's on their bar in their western little ghost town area in their backyard, and it's out of the elements. It's safe. It should be good. But anyways, yeah, I'll miss it, but I'll see it all the time when I go down there. So it's still in the family. It's still in the family. But while I was down there, I offered to clean up another lantern, because if you remember, I did make a video of one, I think, of one I cleaned up for her. It was a Dietz Buckeye dash lamp. And so they love that one, and it's a great piece. So I thought, well, let me take another one from your backyard and fix it up and get it working for you. So I saw this one. This one is a CT Ham. Pretty crusty, right? Yeah. I haven't done a thing to it. I just took it off their hands. But it's got some rust, but it's solid. Very solid lantern. It's just really dirty. And she had it sitting in a wooden crate from, one of those old wooden crates in their backyard, and the spiders found it, and yeah, I'm sure there might be some up in the air tubes, but we'll find out. But yeah, late run CT Ham, probably 1910, 11, right around there, maybe 1912. But yeah, that's just a leaf. There it is. But yeah, the fuel cap is brass, so it can come off. Let's see. Take that out. There we go. Oh, see? Yeah. Ooh, actually has a nice wick in there. It's been burned at one time, see? Yeah. Might be pretty clean inside. Might be actually a pretty quick job. I hear some crap rolling around there. But anyways, I'll take a look. But that's kind of the project that I'm going to be doing for my friend, our friend, Amber, and Bob there. But yeah, I'll have fun cleaning that up, and it won't take a whole lot. Well, I'll probably be able to do it in a day or two. So it'll probably be burning, and I'll send them pictures of it burning and working, and they'll be very excited to have it back. Now, there's no rush because they're going out of town, and I won't see them for probably another month. But yeah, And all I'll just suggest is spraying it down with WD-40 at least once a month, and keeping it nice and operational. Because if you keep these things with WD-40, it will help repel the rust, the California rust. We've had a little more rust issues recently because of all the rain that we've had, but traditionally it's a very dry state, and that's never really an issue. But yeah, we'll be able to get this thing in better shape and rocking and rolling for them. Yeah, it's just some surface rust. It's not a big deal. So there we go. Well, friends, I hope you enjoyed this latest edition, and we'll be back at you next week with some other things to share. I have something else coming, I know, but I more or less did a trade, you know. I'm always refining the collection. I think that's the problem. I find something that I like that's similar to something I already have, and it's better, and I like it more, so I'll, you know, upgrade. But hey, next week I should have it and should be here, and I'll do a little video about it. Sounds good? All right, give you something to look forward to for next week. All right, guys, thanks again for your subscriptions, and thank you for commenting and engaging in this humble and unusual or unique channel. I do appreciate it. So we'll see you guys again very soon. Have a great rest of your week and a great weekend, and we'll see you again in a week's time. All right, bye-bye. Hey, hold on a second. Wait, don't roll the credits yet. I forgot something, friends. I forgot something I wanted to show you. Now, this is kind of a basket case now. I've had this, and I'm just going through stuff. Like I said, I was going to go through stuff and, well, hopefully get something sent out to somebody else. Now, it's not rare. It's a Hong Kong-made Dietz Jr., okay? It's not rare, right? Yeah, it's missing the crown. Crowns can be had for these. They're very easy to get. You can get one off of one in worse condition, or even find one online from the Antique Lantern, or I think even the Kirkmans actually make a copy reproduction, or they have Dietz branded crowns for these. But anyways, the founts shot to more or less shot there. You can see the yeah, you can see the ooh, you can see, oh yeah, that's just the tin on the inside, I think. Anyways, holes in the fount, crap falling out of the fount. Anyways, it's a basket case. It's not a burner right now, or might not ever be, but it has good parts on it. And the globe that came in it, it's a Rayo Pony Cold Blast Bullseye globe. Now, yeah, you can see there's a little crack there. That makes it less desirable. I get it, but hey, it's not a through crack. Not that I see. Oh, maybe it is. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah. Well, it's not completely through it. It goes around the bullseye. I would not burn this globe, but you know, it displays okay. You know, if it's up on a shelf, it displays okay. But anyways, it's more or less worthless. But the burner's good. The cone's good. The cap is good, and the cap comes off, and nothing's frozen on this thing. Let's see here. Yeah, see? The burner's free. So everybody wants at least $25 for burner and cones, or $15 or $20 for fuel caps. And the globe is kind of cool, and you might have a Rayo Pony that you like to display, that whatever. Anyways, it's got cool patina. It might look good in a, you know, kid's room on a shelf for like a Western motif. I'm just you know, suggesting things. I'm not telling you what you should do, but it does have nice old red paint. I mean, it's from the 60s. It's nothing extremely old. It is a Hong Kong one, but hey, $10 and it's yours plus shipping, of course. So if you are interested in this little junior, either to restore it or to just enjoy it as is, or harvest parts off of it, it's up to you. $10 plus shipping, and just leave a comment, and I will reply with my email. Then you can email me, and we can work out payment you know, arrangements. But anyways, $10. Get out of my garage so I don't have to deal with this thing rusting all over my lap. I know, quite the salesman, right? But that's what we're dealing with right now. I'm just trying to figure out some more things. I've got a lot of stuff that I don't want to sell, sadly. I'm realizing this more now, but I don't know. If I go through more things this weekend, we shall see. But I will make an attachment to another video where I am sharing other things for sale. So don't despair. I haven't given up on you guys, but I am really happy with what I have right now. I don't want to sell too much more, but I will find something to let go of. But don't get too excited. It won't be too rare. But anyway. All right, you guys, you've been swell. Thanks again. All right, now back to the credits. See you next week.